Welcome, I'm a lady of Westeros, and today we will be discussing the Dornish Letter. The Dornish Letter is a pivotal document within the world of A Song of Ice and Fire, specifically during the time of Aegon I Targaryen, also known as Aegon the Conqueror. The letter has been subject to much debate amongst fans in the different communities, with numerous discussions on forums like Reddit or social media platforms like X, where various theories have been proposed and debated. The letter exemplifies how George R.R. Martin is able to weave a layer of mystery within his world to deepen the lore of said world, leaving readers to ponder over the implications of many different key events from centuries past. So there is not really much known about what was in the Dornish letter. We do know that the event took place during the First Dornish War in the year 13 AC, after the Targaryens had been able to conquer the majority of Westeros, save Dorne. The letter was sent by Prince Namor Martell after he ascended to the Dornish throne after the death of his mother, Princess Maria Martell, also known as the Yellow Toad. This letter was delivered to King's Landing and given to Aegon after much time had passed with debating back and forth between the princess and Aegon and his counselors on should they agree to peace terms. But when things were coming to a head and it seemed like Aegon wasn't going to agree, Princess Daria Martell gave him this letter. And it is said that upon reading the letter, Aegon gripped the Iron Throne so hard that he ended up cutting his hand. After reading the letter, he burned it and went to Valerion the Black Dread, mounted his dragon, and flew to Dorne. We do not again know what transpired when he was in Dorne, but upon his return, he agreed to the peace terms set by Prince Namor Martell and went against all precedents that he had set for himself and for his campaign to conquer the Seven Kingdoms. He just let all that go to the wind after reading this letter and visiting Dorne. Again, we know that it was given to him by Namor's daughter, and a lot of people speculate on what was actually in said letter. There's, again, not much known, but there are a few ideas. So there are many different theories on what was in the Dornish letter. I can't go into all of them or we'd be here for ever. Probably there's a million different theories. One of the big ones is that Prince Namor sent a threat in the Dornish letter saying that he was going to hire the Faceless Men to come in and kill Aegon's heir, Aenys, or perhaps even kill Aegon himself. I don't really think that that's what would go down. I don't think he would warn of that. He would just do it. But who knows? Either way, it would be a good threat because the Faceless Men are freaking terrifying when you think about it. Just come sneaking up in your house and you know. But again, I don't lean toward that way. Personally, or the other ideas are personal or moral appeal, like father to father, ruler to ruler, to let's deal with this without bloodshed. There's been enough endless um, fighting. Innocents have died by the thousands. There's no point in this. We're never going to really come to a head. We're going to be fighting forever. It's Dorne. They're never going to really surrender. So there is that theory. There is also theories that somehow the Martells knew of the Long Night theory, or prophecy that Aegon himself knew about, or according to House of the Dragon anyway. It could be something like that, where they knew something that was going to happen with a prophecy about bringing back, or dragons dying or coming back, or the long night, or any different things, which again, I don't lean toward that way because it doesn't seem very viable. We don't hear anything of the Martells having visions or delving into prophecy. We know that they are very learned, very smart individuals, all the way up until Oberyn Martell and his brother Doran, Prince of Doran during the present time. They are very smart and well educated men who would know of prophecy and stuff, but they're more of men of logic, men of reason, and I don't think they would hinge stuff on prophecy. Um, the other one that I really lean toward is the fate of Queen Rhaenys. What actually happened to her? I think the letter could have just simply said, Meraxes was hit with a scorpion bolt, fell, and Rhaenys did not die. I do not think that she was going to be held like captive, like and tortured horrifically, like Cersei would do. I don't think it would quite be that way, but that is the way that I lean. We'll go into more of that in a moment. But either way, no matter what was in this letter, it was a significant thing that caused Aegon to, again, give all of his plans and push them aside. Just be like, nope, I'm not going to conquer Dorne. We're not doing this. We're going to have peace. And no one wanted peace with Dorne in Kings or in Westeros, really, especially the Reach and all of that, because in the Stormlands, because they were always being fought with. My clock is always going off. They were always fighting though with the Dornish and have lost a lot of people. And they weren't like really happy with having peace with Dorne, but something in that letter totally changed Aegon's mind and his view on the whole thing. Okay, so it's kind of using historical accounts within Fire and Blood and the world of Ice and Fire, as well as my own thoughts and all. I'll kind of lay out why I think that the letter contained the fate of Queen Rhaenys. I think that Meraxes was shot down, as we all know, scorpion bolt straight through the eye, and she fell. And I think our young, beautiful Queen Rhaenys fell with her. But somehow she managed to survive. She would have been like massively wounded. It would have been horrible. No one falls that far with a dragon and doesn't like break some stuff and like, oh my God. Okay. But we also don't have any evidence that was like Meraxes was breathing fire. So I don't think there would have been the fire aspect of like the burns that say Aegon and the Dance of the Dragon when him and his dragon fell. It was horrible. Okay, the fire, the blood, the awfulness, and Aegon was burnt horrifically. I don't think that would be the case with Queen Rhaenys. She, I think, survived, and the people would have known that that's her. Oh my God, she's strapped onto her dragon, or right there near it. The hair, you can tell a Targaryen apart from like everybody else. So they would have taken her, and Princess Mira Martell was not a stupid woman. She was a very brave, very intelligent woman to have been able to rule Dorne for so very long. She would have known what a treasured little piece of awesomeness having Rhaenys was. She would have done anything within her power, I'm sure, to keep that woman alive. I don't think again that she would have tortured her like Cersei would do with like anybody because Cersei's crazy. Um, Maria Martell was more about protecting Dorne, and having Queen Rhaenys was the perfect Hail Mary, the perfect little card of awesomeness. If the Targaryens were able to somehow start to truly conquer Dorne, that she would be able to pull out Queen Rhaenys and be like, "What you gonna do now? We will kill her if you don't back up," or whatever, you know. And again, I don't think she would have been held as like a total prisoner. She would have been a royal hostage. And I don't think that, again, they would have mistreated her. I think that they would have helped get her back to health, heal her as best as they could. But she would have been held within one of the many pleasure gardens within Dorne, somewhere beautiful and exotic to be able to rest and recover with plenty of guards on her, or at least, a select few that, wouldn't say nothing. Because we can see that in with that not saying nothing, I'm sure that someone's going to be like, well, you can't keep that big of a secret of having Queen Rhaenys really alive. But could you? At least could the Dornish or the Martells within Dorne? You're hearing my son, maybe. I'm sorry. But they are very loyal to the Martells, to the royal family that rules over Dorne. You see it during the war for Dorne, how the people are like, no, I don't know where my masters went. They're gone. It's like they could have like went to the Targaryens and been like, yeah, let's take these guys and please don't kill us and give us power, like they did with the not the High Towers, sorry, the Tyrells when they conquered the Reach, going from lowly stewards to actual lords of the Reach, wardens of the East. It's it's a big way to move up, to kind of betray your old masters when war happens. But I don't see the Dornish doing this because they do seem to truly be very, very loyal to Dorne. There's a reason their saying is unbowed, unbent, unbroken. They are Dornish and they would rather die Dornish than be royalty or high ups within the Targaryen line. So, again, with that, the queen would be held as a royal hostage, taken very good care of. And with this, she would be able to experience the true pleasures of Dorne. There are so many different things that are a part of Dorne that are unlike any other part of Westeros. You have the equality of gender, where in Dorne, the princess can be ruler over her younger brother. It doesn't matter. It's the eldest child. Women have positions of power. They can inherit lands and titles that are equal to the men. Um, there is also the sexual morality of everything, where in Dorne, things are more liberal regarding sexual relationships. Paramours are more accepted and all but welcomed and are not a stigma with the bastards of these unions. They're not stigmatized, they're not looked down on the way they are in other regions of Westeros. And I think that Rhaenys would see this. And then if you maybe even think about perhaps the faith of the Seven, how within Westeros, once Aegon lands and Aenys, his son, that he has his issues with the faith, and Maegor with his, and then Jaehaerys comes in and like settles things, and the faith of the Seven kind of goes hand in hand with the ruling Targaryens for a long time, um, practicing or preaching the acceptive the fact that just because they are having incest, it's all good because they're Targaryens and different than everybody else. They are special, okay? Exceptionalism. I'm so bad with big words. But the faith goes hand in hand. And perhaps Rhaenys was more, again, liberal. We know that she was a free spirit. She was a wild, untamed dragon that rumors say that she had lovers outside of Aegon, that when he was with Visenya, she had different men of all kinds of stations in life going to her bed, to the point that some even whispered about the legitimacy of Aenys, excuse me, at one point. But she was a free spirit, and maybe the faith was going to hold her down. And in Dorne, they don't practice the faith of the Seven like the west of Westeros, like the High Towers and the Tullys, and even in the north they practice different religions, but there's still um, morals like the rest of Westeros, where it's husband, wife, and you have a bastard, but you kind of keep that quiet, except for like folks like Ned Stark and Jon Snow. But things are different in Dorne, and I think that Rhaenys being alive, needing time to mend, and all of this stuff, would experience some of these pleasures in this tropical, exotic place. Maybe she fell in love with a Dornishman. Maybe she had an illegitimate child of her own. Maybe she was just tired of fighting endless battles just to bring about her brother's desire to rule over the Seven Kingdoms, whatever the reason may be. Um, I think that that Rhaenys was different. And I think that she would have enjoyed the different freedoms that she would have discovered within Dorne. The freedom to be herself, maybe for the first time in her life. And I don't know, and like maybe why would she not want to live there and not like let her brother and all know? Well, if you think about Aegon and Visenya, they are dead set on building a dynasty um, to bring about the Seven Kingdoms under one rule for the good of the realm. Maybe again, she didn't want to do that anymore. Maybe she wanted to be free. Maybe she's like Rhaenyra in House of the Dragon season 1, where she just wanted to ride her dragon and it was dead, but be free and eat cake and explore the world without the chains that come with being royalty, of ruling somewhere like the Seven Kingdoms. Maybe in Dorne she could be free, even if she couldn't be Queen Rhaenys Targaryen anymore. Maybe for the first time in her life she could just be Rhaenys. So, in conclusion, while there is no concrete evidence that Queen Rhaenys Targaryen survived her fall and was held prisoner in Dorne, the mystery around her death, combined with the mysterious letter from Dorne and them sending back her dragon's skull but not her mortal remains, it leads to speculation, right? Because, like, heck, even Tyrion sent back Ned's remains, okay, as a sign of peace. But Dorne could not do the same with Rhaenys. This leads to many, many suggestions that she may be alive. These these theories are supported by the speculative nature of historical accounts that are within George R.R. Martin's work, where history is often recorded with bias and gaps of knowledge just to keep you on your toes and keep you guessing. So, no, so who knows, truly, if we will ever find out what was actually in the Dornish letter. But we know that whatever it was, King Aegon reacted with intensity, flying to Dorne alone, save his dragon, Valerion the Black Dread. Like, he's going to mess with you when you're flying around on Valerion the Black Dread. But he flew alone all the way to Dorne. Okay, so what was, if ever, in that letter? It helped to shape the Seven Kingdoms as we know it today. And we will probably speak many more times and have many more discussions in all kinds of forums across the internet and beyond about the Dornish letter. So, what were your thoughts? What do you think was in the Dornish letter? Who do you think wrote it? Was it Rhaenys? Was it Princess Maria Martell with some grand secret or prophecy that she knew? Or was it simply a letter from Aegon's beloved little sister wife, pleading for peace, for him, for her, for Westeros, and all of Dorne? So, until next time, keep your lamps lit and keep those fires burning, for winter is coming and the night is dark and full of terrors. All right, y'all. Now don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, have a great day. Bye.